Ah, g'day YouTube, how are you? Today I thought we'd have a look at solar panels. We're here up the top of the ladder, so they've been installed for a little bit now. So the mounting's pretty simple. So the first solar panel we bolted down directly at the front and the back. Now when we put the second panel on, we couldn't easily get our hands in underneath there and behind to bolt down from the top or up from the bottom. There's just not enough room. So what we did instead is bolt the front of this panel into the frame of the panel in front, and then at the back of the second panel we bolted down because we could get our hands in underneath. In the third panel we did the same. So this way we ended up with all three panels bolted down, pretty flush and pretty low profile on the roof as well. I'm very happy with how it looks. These have been on for a while now and they still feel very rock solid. For the wiring, the three panels have been connected together in series, so it was just a simple matter of connecting the connectors that came with the panels together. The reason we tied these together in series rather than parallel is actually simply because we've got three panels. If we only had two panels, we could pretty much do them parallel or series, it wouldn't really matter. So each panel puts out about 30 volts and 9 amps. So by putting them together in series, it means we have a total voltage of about 100 volts, and the current stays the same at 9 amps, which means all these connectors are rated for 20 amps, so it means we're well underneath the limit for the connectors. So I reckon one of the most common questions people ask is, why do you not have the thin flexible panels on the roof instead of the big solid rigid ones? For a start, they're a lot cheaper. You get a lot more bang for your buck with the house-sized panels, which is what we've got on the roof. Secondly, durability. So the solid panels will last a lot longer because they've got a sheet of glass up above them, so if you scrape along underneath trees and things, they'll probably be fine. Thirdly, they act as a shade on the roof. You're basically driving around with a big shade cover above you constantly. I'm guessing it keeps it a bit quieter for the rain noise as well. The other advantage is I was able to put one of the vent fans underneath the panels. There's definitely a few disadvantages. For a start, the weight. So the glass panels are 18 kilograms each, so I've got nearly 60 kilograms on the roof, which is a lot. Aerodynamics. Personally, people seem to worry about the aerodynamics of putting some panels on your roof, and the trick is to have as little surface area hitting the wind as possible. If you check out the design of my roof racks, they're very streamlined, so it's only the very thin edge of the solar panel that's actually hitting the air. Because they've got airflow underneath them, they keep the panels cooler, they actually work more efficiently if they're cool. Obviously, stick-on panels would be even more aerodynamic. Stealth, if you don't want people to see that you've got solar panels on your roof. The flexible ones work a lot better for that. So there's a few regulations you have to worry about in New Zealand here. The first is, are you generating more than 120 volts? And in my case, I'm going up to about 100 volts. Now what that means is I'm actually allowed to do all the work myself because it's called, what's it called? Extremely low voltage. Once you start having voltages over 120 volts, I would have to pay an electrician to come and do it all for me. Obviously you need to check the regulations in your country, but that's what we have in New Zealand. The other key requirement is the amount of wattage you're generating, and in our case we're generating up to 900 watts of solar. The limit that we need to worry about is 280 watts. Basically, if you're doing more than 280 watts of power, you have to adhere to all the solar panel regulations just like you would if you were installing a house. So even though I'm allowed to do it myself because it's under 120 volts, I still have to adhere to the New Zealand and Australian regulations for solar power. So I'm missing a few things that mean I don't meet the requirements for New Zealand yet. A couple of them are really simple. One, I need to secure the cables that are on the roof. You can't have any cables loose on the actual roof. They have to be fastened up, which I was going to do anyway. The second major thing I'm missing is some sort of breaker or cut-off switch for the solar panels. Currently, the way I've been doing it is plugging my laptop into the MPPT controller and disabling the charger that way, which can turn off the panels. However, in an emergency situation, that's not good enough. The one final requirement I'm missing is you've got to have stickers everywhere indicating where the cut-off switch is, so emergency services can find them quickly and easily. I'm actually thinking it might be a good idea to have a switch on the roof and then breakers inside, so that in an emergency, you can imagine if I was in a car accident, we want fire brigade to be able to turn off the solar panels without having to get into the vehicle, which seems like a very good safety feature. So the panels we chose are 60 cell panels. It's actually quite hard to find 300 watt panels, or roughly about that, in a 60 cell configuration. The reason I needed a 60 cell instead of 72 cell panel was simply because of the length of the panels. So by getting 60 cells, they're about 1650 millimeters wide, which fits onto the roof perfectly. The largest 72 cell panels are 1900 in length, and that is just too wide to fit in the van without hanging over the edges. Hey, thanks for watching this video about solar panels. It's exciting stuff. If you've got any questions or comments, leave them below. I'll be happy to answer them. Soon we'll put together a video that explains the Victron color controller, which I know a few people are interested in, especially, and the rest of the power system. So if you're interested to see how that all works, subscribe below, make sure you turn on notifications, and you can check out the upcoming videos.